Hello there. You're welcome to Joy Defining Moments, and I'm Joy SN, your emotional empowerment coach. Okay, so over the last couple of weeks, we have been looking at emotional issues, mental health, and all that. So today we are going to be talking about the perfect drug. And what is that one drug that can guarantee a final cure to how we feel, what we think about, and all that? So don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's great to have you join me, and I'm always excited knowing that you actually clicked play just to learn to empower yourself. Now, before I talk about the perfect drug, one thing I want to make clear is that most of the life issues that we face, most of the challenges that people actually have, the emotional issues, mental health issues and all that, actually comes from a place of distortion. Your brain doesn't know what is real, what is false. Your brain doesn't know this is a joke and this isn't. Your brain actually sees things in one way. So basically, it's your mind that gives interpretation to these particular things. Like I said, most of the greatest challenges we have in this world comes from a distortion of the original design or a deviation of the real pattern of that particular thing. Like, for instance, why do we have war? War comes from a distortion of peace. Think about it. Think about something like power. Now, power comes from an individual's desire to be more superior than every other person. Now, I remember this book I read growing up by George Orwell, Animal Farm. Yes, he said that all humans are equal, but some humans are more equal than the other. Imagine, so some people think that, because some people don't believe in something like equality, they feel that, I'm better than this person. That's where things like racism comes from. Because truly, in your brain, there's nothing like that. But because of human interpretations of things like that, that's why we begin to see different variations. We see different issues of what happens around us. Scientists, psychologists, and all that have stated that humans have different interpretations of things. One of it is called all or nothing. Now, this is where an individual sees it like, and it's usually common with perfectionists. I used to be in this category. Now, it's when you see something like, if A doesn't work out, then that is it. So it's like you've totally failed, you're a failure. You fail to see that, like motivational speakers will say, that failure is the first attempt in learning. So basically, failure just means that you get to learn. So it's not like you totally failed or you totally discard that experience. It just means that, what can you learn from? How can you move on forward? But for someone that has a negative thinking pattern, you're going to see it as you failed and you failed. Another major distortion in thinking pattern is overgeneralization. This is where a person feels, a person is always jumping to conclusion based on just very little evidence that they have. You form facts basically based on several evidence to come up with that conclusion. But like individuals like this, they just only take one particular scenario and they generalize it to their whole world. Let's say, for instance, your friend betrays you, and then you now begin to say, human beings are fake friends everywhere. Or because of maybe what your dad did to your mom, all men are scum. Because of how your mom behaves to your father, or women are devilish, different kinds of things. So this is one pattern of thinking that totally distorts an individual's mindset and how they see the world. Another negative pattern of thinking that people have is when they begin to discount the positive things that they have received. Let's say, for instance, somebody gives you a compliment, your hair is lovely, and you'll be like, Zela, you're washing me, Jare, or this person, you're only saying it to make me feel good, because genuinely you don't feel that someone can actually give you a compliment. You begin to discount people's well-meaning intention. Like, you're always suspicious of everybody. You're always thinking, what exactly does this person want? Another negative perception is labeling. Now, labeling is really very common, where you see people, you have come to love a particular situation. I talk more about labeling in another video. But in labeling, let's say, for instance, you are feeling depressed and you call it my depression, or you're sick, my headache. Do you understand? So it's like you have come to love that particular situation and you have now personalized it for yourself. But do not personalize situation. You are going through that situation does not make you that situation. And the last one that I will be talking about today is personalizing bad events. It's kind of similar to labeling, but the difference is that in personalizing bad events, all you do is that you think that that particular situation is unique to you. Okay, let's say for instance you are in a party and then they are serving food and it gets to your turn, food finishes. Okay, or maybe they start serving somewhere else and it also finishes. You'll be like, oh, why always me? Life is so unfair to me. So you think that the universe and every other person around you conspires to make your life a living hell, but that is just a negative way of thinking. And so what exactly is a perfect cure? What drug can we use to combat all this? I need your full attention here. One of the things you should realize is that this world is more than what we think it is. It is beyond just you sleeping and waking up. This world was created by God. And so for you to understand how exactly you should think, you must now ask yourself, what exactly was his intention for this world? And before we talk about that, I need you to come to a point whereby now you may not believe in God. You may still have questions about the reality of God. And it's good if you do. It shows that you are a thinking being. And so I usually encourage people, form your perception of God for yourself. Be objective when you're doing that, because the moment you can do that, you would find out that it's now a part of you, is rooted in you, and tomorrow somebody will not just come and throw you different theories and begin to say, oh, God is not real. If you're watching me and you struggle with the idea of the reality of God, I need you to take out time to objectively seek out the truth. If you seek it out, you would actually find. But one of the things I want you to consider is that this world is beyond the theory of something heating up somewhere, Big Bang and all that. But think about how everything is wired. I think I mentioned something like this. I explained something like this in my videos. Who am I? Who am I? Think about how this world is wired and all that. It means that someone carefully thought about this. Someone thought about you, and he brought you here. And so, because you are not just a figment of the universe, you didn't just come about because your mom and your dad loved each other and they produced you. No, you were actually thought about by someone great. And so for us to know exactly how we should be living, we must then begin to rewire our minds, our thought patterns based on that person's desires. The cure to challenge negative perception, negative thought, is actually through God's word. Now, Romans 12 verse 1 to 2 tells us not to be conformed to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This world has a system that they will rather sell to you than allow you to take from God's word. And one of the system of the world is to distort how things are. They sell you something like, oh, you can be a lesbian, which is a deviation from God's original design of a man and a woman. It's important that you are deliberate about this thing. 2 Corinthians 10 verse 3 says, we do not war after the flesh, for the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. So you see that the war you fight, Joyce Meyer calls it the battlefield of the mind, first begins in your mind. Let me continue. Casting down imaginations and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. So every thought that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, you must be deliberate in bringing it under the lordship, because that is not how God would have you think. Part of experiencing the spiritual renewal of your mind is to make a conscious change in your thought pattern. Philippians 4 verse 8 tells us tells that whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is honest, whatsoever is just, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever are of good report, if there is any virtue in these things, think about it. So ask yourself, that thought that you are allowing to fly, is there any virtue in it? Okay, let me give you another example. Remember when I spoke about somebody, you're in a situation and you feel, oh, why is it always me that bad things happen to? But look at what 2 Corinthians says, rather 1 Corinthians 10:13. He says, no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man, you see that the Bible is complete. And so let's say you are in a difficult family situation, you are thinking, oh, it's only me. But no, you are not the only one that thing has happened to, and you won't be the last. You have the choice to live according to God's pattern. And so when an individual is deviating from God's idea of what a marriage or a family should be like, then that is not your fault in any way. So you can see that that situation that you are going through is not unique to you. John 16:33 tells you that in this world you would have trouble, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. Can you see how complete the word of God is? And so what exactly can you do? Now, I don't want you to just give up and say, well, I've tried this before, it won't work. No. Do not give up on something you have not tried consistently for at least a month. You know, scientists will tell you that it takes like 21 days to form a habit. But most of us, we are not patient enough to actually form that habit in us. That's why when it says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, it is deliberate. It's not something you leave to chance. That's why I tell people, you cannot be idle and expect change to happen. How is it going to be? Your mind has already formed patterns. And so for you to combat those patterns, you cannot overthrow a thought by just wishing it away. You have to overthrow that thought with another thought. And that's what you do. This is the perfect cure. This is the perfect drug that you need to overcome that negative situation that you are going through. I hope this video has been helpful. I believe it has. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. It won't cost you anything. And I would love to hear from you in the comment section. Okay, thank you very much for joining me. So stay joyful, stay strong, stay winning. Bye-bye.